And now we will capture every piece of advice you can give to us. All right, it's all yours.
All right. So, and again, this is just, options and, things I would look at doing. But I mean, when I start looking at this, instead of saying, yes, we're going to be, publishing on the Facebook ad, you want the language to be active and engaging. Thank you for subscribing. Welcome to our chapter newsletter. And then what I would go into is say, we use our newsletter to share the latest information, latest publications, and the latest work coming out of our chapter. We appreciate you sharing in our experience.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you come into that, then what I would do is have a letter, maybe a short letter from the editor, which of course right now would be you. And so what I would do with the letter from the editor is this week we're featuring Ms. Beard. And so you go through and say, I wanted to start with this. So if you scroll down a little bit more, where you go through and say this first issue is dedicated to her and her story. What you could do is have, here's a summary piece at the top of it. So you go through and you say, letter from the editor. This is and for this one, you can go and say, look, this is our first newsletter. We're still pulling things together. We're working with it. We're experimenting with it. But I want you to, I want to thank you for taking the time to come in, read it. Here's some of the high points that you're going to get by reading the newsletter. Because if I see that in the top couple of paragraphs, that'll give me a quick view. And I would also then embed a quick link from each of those just to be able to drill straight to that particular piece, especially if I'm coming back to reread it, because you have to remember, this is an interactive experience. And so by having that little letter from the editor that comes in and say, I'm Vincent, I'm chapter president, this month we're talking about these things, but I'm especially proud for our first newsletter to be dedicating this to Susan Wright Beard. And here's why. You give that little bit of a, short story. And then the first block would be, here's our dedicated article for our featured author of the month. Then the next thing I would go down, so you got a good lead in there. I would just make a little bit of a structural change.
Mm-hmm.
And I would add, like I say, that letter from the editor makes it personal. That makes it so that you're the person that's curating it. It gives me somebody to talk to, somebody to contact. So if I'm interested in joining the chapter, or I have questions about the network, or whatever the case may be, I have a person that I'm connecting with. Even though most of that's going to be a summary of what's in the newsletter and quick links down to it, that gives me as a person, as a reader, a person to connect to immediately. Because again, you have to think of this is not a newspaper where you're sharing the news of the day. It is a newsletter where you're going out and you're reaching out and you're saying, here's everybody that's contributed. And so you might, so if you do that way, I know who to reach out to if I have questions or I want to make a contribution or whatever the case may be. I have the person to talk to. And you're coming out with your personal message, which gives me another reason to read it. And then your summary of what's in there and the clickable links means you've got the internal deep linking to make it easier to navigate, but it feels like that personal message from you as the editor. You're the one that curated this. This is something you helped curate, pull together, and this is your message. And here's the rest of the team.
So Jim, I have a question for you. I didn't realize that there was an opportunity to embed a link. So like if those two books, for instance, so do I have an option of highlighting those and having a clickable link?
Absolutely.
To? There is. Okay. I didn't see that option. So it may be.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's go in and edit this real quick. Go ahead and let's go into MailerLite and go into an editable mode.
Okay.
I've been talking too much today.
Okay. I've got people wanting to enter the weight room, and I don't know who they are. So
that's Brashell. That's Brashell.
Okay, Brashell. So I can admit that person. Okay.
Right.
All right, Brashell is in there. Okay, so let's see here. I guess I want to stop share for just a second here, and then
you probably, you might even want to stop. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to stop sharing, then I want to get over to,
Yeah, this brush, that's her. Mhm. Yeah.
How are you doing, Audrey? MJ, how are y'all this evening?
MJ and I have zoomed up today.
Well, y'all have that big conference today, right?
Yep,
We had,
we had it.
we had it.
Y'all had it or it had y'all?
Both.
all of the above. But they had a really good presentation on the KP thing from Amazon and explained how to go in and learn how to really use it and get your best effect from it. They have like a university online. So I am going to go through and do that university training. And they had a really good marketing person on who markets for a lot of well-known authors. And so she has a, like you, Jim, she has an online tutorial. So if you want to market yourself, these things will teach you and take you along the path. She says it takes about 10 weeks to do it because she expects you to do each thing before you go to the next step. So
Well, and it's always good to see different people's approaches and see what's shared and what's different. Define the things that define the method that'll work for you. Because if you ever ask me, what's the silver bullet? I'm going to tell you there isn't one.
Right.
Because sometimes you have to experiment to find what works for you and your team, for what you guys are doing, and also what works for your audience. There's a lot of things that are going to be common.
Yeah,
but
so I thought those two things were really good. So I've been zooming all day because I watched the whole day.
Well, I'm going to hang in here with Jim. I don't know this woman at Amazon. I do not like Amazon. I am trying to get as self-sufficient and independent of Amazon as I possibly can. And as for the KD, you're talking about the Kindle? No, I just upload my stuff to Ingram and they put it in ebook format and I'm done with it.
Oh yeah, well, I do too. But I just thought it was,
the fun part about Amazon is that's still where 80% of the book sales happen.
Right.
I know, we're stuck with them, but I'm simply saying, as for advice on how to move forward, I'm going to stick with you and Vincent.
Well, I'm very happy, kind of honored to be able to help provide guidance and steer you astray.
No, I was talking, there was another woman on the program who is a book marketing person, and her information, that was the information that I got the most from.
Royston.
Yeah, Kate Ray.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
That was interesting. So I'm gonna go try to do her thing online. No, but I was just saying that for Vince because he was the one, because we've been talking so much about the Amazon stuff.
Well, and I mean, they are the 800-pound gorilla in the room, but they're not the only solution. And the other nice part of this is a lot of people are kind of tired of the Zon, and so there's becoming more and more options. Like I say, they're still the big player in the room. You can't, if you're really trying to make money at it, you really can't afford to avoid the Amazon unless you're going to do a lot of different work to get there. But
you can be sold on Amazon without doing all.
Oh yeah.
Without.
Oh, absolutely.
Amazon, and I wouldn't publish on Amazon because their work, all the books that I've seen just don't look good.
Yeah. When it was Create Space, so the company that would Create Space, the company that they used to do the print fulfillment through was actually based out of Charleston. And then when Amazon bought them, acquired them, and merged in, I thought the quality of what they put out was better than what I've seen come out from sorry, I was getting a pain. What I now see coming out of the KDP print,
it just doesn't look good.
Does not look quite as good. That's why I tend to do anything that I'm doing, print out of Ingram Spark, because I do think that they're doing a better quality product right now.
Yeah, I do too.
Lulu does a nice product too, but Ingram Spark I think is better embedded and provides a lot better options.
Thank you.
But that's just my opinion.
Mine too.
Mhm.
So if you want to embed a link, so let's edit. Let's just sort of play with it. So embed it. Let's click on the first top of the block there. Let's click on the piece there where we say welcome to the NCWN Metro North chapter. So let's edit that block and click on that first. So if you look, let me slide this out of my way.
Mm-hmm.
So look in the text box to your right and highlight NCWN Metro North chapter.
Okay.
Now I want you to go straight up. You see this little thing that looks like a broken paperclip?
Yep, the link.
Link right there.
Mhm.
Insert link. And you can put the URL right there.
Got it. Okay. Got it. I won't do that right now because I don't want to be going back and forth. It'll be disruptive, but I get that.
So, and you can embed that and you can do linking inside of the doc as well.
Gotcha.
But that works really well. And that way, if you give like a link to the Facebook group, or you want to
Right.
give a link out to YouTube, you want to, link out to those sorts of things.
Right.
That lets you link to them with the name directly from here.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you, Jim. That was a missing element I wasn't aware of. So, and it's right. So obvious because I've used that element in my Weebly page when I create, update my website. So I don't know why I didn't figure it out here as well.
It's all the little stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So you're recommending that I make this more active, and I won't do it right here, but I'll after this call, I'll make that a more active call to action, so to speak.
Yeah, you want people to know what they're going to get when they come straight in the newsletter. You want it to be active. You want it to be engaging. You want it to feel a little bit, a little fun instead of saying, the language is passive. So, I mean, just think it in terms of, and I've got a little bit of my editor's hat on, turn it into active language so that it pulls somebody through the content instead of somebody having to push through the content.
Right.
It's like any other form of active writing.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay.
So then like I say, I would add, the top, the editor's notes.
Mhm.
Then, and like I say, looking at this, I think that this is much closer to that active kind of language, and it feels good because you're saying this, you're showing that personal nature as, not only what the group does, but also, what the members mean to the group. And so this, I think, both serves a lot of purposes, but also feels good. And that's one of those things you want out of a newsletter is to say, look, this is what we're doing. This is why. And that pulls us straight in. And I think big quotes like that right there
Mhm.
are one of those things. This is one of the reasons why somebody would pick this up and read it, is because you get that, you feel the personal connection. I can read this and tell this is somebody that was meaningful to the group. This is somebody that was meaningful to you. And so seeing that and reading that and feeling that is one of those things that would then help impel me to want to get involved.
Now, so Jim, so like if I highlight "You Can't Be That," which is the title of her book,
Mm-hmm.
and I click on this embed link, will I be able to insert a link to
Amazon.
Amazon?
Yeah, you could use the affiliate link.
Really? Okay, so it won't show a picture of the book there, but it'll take somebody to the affiliate link, right?
It'll take somebody straight to the affiliate link.
Oh my gosh. Okay, this is getting more interesting by the minute, Jim. All the words of wisdom that you've given us over the last 3 months seem to be coming together here in one place. So I really, really appreciate all this. So
That's why I say is it's a bit of drinking from a fire hose and playing with it to see,
yeah.
what's the next part of growth, because as learning these tools and tricks, it's a process of growth.
Yeah. Well, the thing too is that this newsletter is probably going to be the main communication tool for a while until we get past the COVID stuff. because we're probably not going to have a meeting, like I said, for the next 2 months because of holiday interference and so forth. So I can present this newsletter. One of the things that I wanted to do, and I'm so glad that Audrey and MJ are on this call. I wish Regina could be on here as well. But these are folks who have active websites. So if I click on enable tables, it takes me to Audrey's work. If I click on MJ, it takes right to her website and so forth. And I'm imagining as we get more authors, they don't all have them right now, but as we get more authors who have an active website, this is a place where we can cross-reference each other's websites and, and take them take the reader right there. My hope would be, Jim, that this newsletter, the primary purpose is to keep us all informed. There's about 25 active members. We have a mailing list of about 90 who have come and gone, have been in the group, left the group, come back to the group, and so forth. So maybe this will be an incentive, a way to keep them connected, even though for whatever reason they're not available on the fourth Thursday of a month, or they don't have the ability to have a Zoom call. But if they have email, they should be able to open up this newsletter, and that'll keep them going.
And I think it can help to pass information on to other authors, because I know I've talked, now people call me and ask me about publishing their book, and I give them a lot of reference to North Carolina Writers Network. Mm-hmm. And it'd be great to give them references to checking out our newsletters, especially the lessons learned.
Right. Well, I can embed all of those. I also wanted to embed, obviously we're a chapter of a statewide organization, and I wanted to let people know through our newsletter that the state conference is going to be happening in November on the 10th to the 14th. And Audrey, you and I talked about it before people joined the call. The notion that maybe we can divide and conquer if we do Rolling Thunder. If you sign up for the sessions that you are interested in, if MJ would do the same thing, we could compare notes. And trying to get to all the sessions is impossible because they're concurrent, right? So if we can divide and conquer and get to the sessions that we would like to have recorded in the bag, so to speak, kind of like what we did for the spring conference, same deal. So I wanted to get that word out there. Then the last element of the newsletter, Jim, is the disclaimer that people can unsubscribe. So I think this verbiage is okay. You receive this newsletter because you opted to subscribe through our social media group page or by email. You may opt out at any time. And I guess when I hit that unsubscribe button, they're done, right?
Yep, and that's the legal disclaimer you're required to have.
Okay.
And of course, you've got your Facebook link over there, and you can embed the links to the page in the group. A couple of other things you might want to think about as well. Number one, let's scroll back up to the video where you've got the video. So if you want to click on that box, let's click on that guy real quick and edit it. So if you go up to the edit button, little pencil.
Okay.
So you can see where the content there says enter the video URL. Click on the settings box now. So you can pull that in there and say, what it's going to look like. So scroll down a little bit. That'll be fine with the apply. So with the video, it should be pulling in. Do me a favor and go back to the left to the boxes over the video. Like you were going to the edit. Yeah. Click on that one. So, yep, that's fine. Do me a favor, go all the way to the left to the double set of ellipses. Yeah, it's just going to move it. All right. Because it should be pulling in the video header template that's loaded up. Click on the preview and test. preview and test option up above. Preview mode. And let's scroll down. Huh. Okay. I'll go back and take a look because normally, and it's probably a setting, and I'll have to go take a look. But there's a setting because it should be pulling in the template header straight from YouTube.
Okay. So that header is analogous to the thumbnail. Is that what we're talking about?
Correct. The thumbnail picture should be coming up in there and allow you to click on the video link. But what I was going to say is, where you've got this, what you might want to do is embed, a couple of video links that say, here's some of the latest, the latest videos. Here's the latest meeting from the chapter meeting, so you can see the recap. Here is the latest episode from, from this or for that. So with the interviews you're doing, since it's a monthly newsletter, you can embed all those different video links to have somebody go out to those different channels and those different locations to see each of those from the newsletter. Another thing that you might want to consider, is having in here. Yeah, you can go ahead and X out of that. While we're talking, I'm going in to go look real quick at something. I have that on this one or not? Just swap computers.
There were some.
Yeah, I got to swap real quick.
Jim, is it possible because there's a thing called card here? Maybe that would be, instead of doing full width, would that probably maybe get it to that?
You can try that. I've got to go back and look because it's been a while since I've done this. So, okay, there we go. So we're on the card there with the template settings. Go down to content settings. Nope. There's actually there's a checkbox somewhere. That's why I was trying to pull mine up to take a look. Go to the button settings. Now, hang on one second. I'm trying to look at my my account real quick because it's been a while since I've had to do this.
So may I ask, while you were searching for that item, I just saw the word subscribe. Where in the settings was subscribe or unsubscribe?
So that's a good question. So
Oh, is it automatic? I thought it was automatic. Yeah.
So where that subscribe is,
Mhm.
it is one of a couple of places. Number one, it would be on the website, so that you'd have a landing page that lets you subscribe to the newsletter there. Or in Facebook, you put a button in Facebook on the Facebook group that says subscribe. I also recommend putting a subscribe button in the newsletter itself. That way, if somebody shares it, it's easy then for someone else to subscribe to your newsletter.
Website.
So I'll show you something here in just a second.
Okay.
So would that just be a standard button then, Jim?
That would be just a standard button.
So put that right here and say subscribe.
Well, and what you would do is you would link that subscribe button off to your, how we talked about building that landing page using MailerLite. That's what you would embed, is that sign up block.
Okay, so it's asking me for a URL, Jim. So where am I going to go to
Right.
get that?
So that URL would be the sign up page. So do me a favor. Let's save the newsletter like it is right now.
Okay,
Okay.
done editing. Mhm.
Done editing. So here's what I want you to do is to go. So now one of the things that we're going to do is go to forms. Because there's two ways of doing this, and I'm going to show you both ways, and we'll talk a little bit about the two different ones. The first one is this is creating a pop-up form that would be embedded on the website. Now, because the chapter doesn't have its own website, we're not going to create an embedded form. But the other thing you can do is this: go to the Sites button. Now we're going to create a landing page. So I want you to click on Create. And we're going to call this, NC or NCWN Metro Chapter Newsletter Sign Up or something like that.
Sign up or subscription.
Subscription works too.
That okay? Sign up for monthly newsletter?
Got it.
Is that okay with you guys? I mean, I'm just fine with it. Okay.
Yeah, the marketing person today called it subscription. She said, "Get your subscription."
Yes, that's kind of the comment is the get your subscription to the newsletter.
Right.
Either way works. Subscription, it's the language. And again, remember we're writers, so we want to be very deliberate in our language. So subscription indicates that it's going to be coming monthly.
Okay.
So go ahead and let's save this guy, because you can always rename that. Nobody else is going to see that outside of you. That's why I wasn't really concerned about what it got named.
Okay.
So you want to check that box, save and continue. So now you've got a couple of different templates here. You're going to want something very easy and simple. So let's pick the one that says new book.
Preview or select.
Just select it. And we'll give it a moment to run. It's got to think. It's a Friday night.
Yeah. Well, this is also being filtered through Zoom, right? So I imagine there's an extra cycle it's having to get through.
It's probably thinking a little bit. So now where that says book, let's go ahead and just rename that header. And I would actually, you could insert the, just go ahead and insert the image, edit the image. And let's insert the logo there.
Okay.
If you go, because that's the filters. I'm sorry, close this, because this is actually filtering it. Go back, go to hit the little trash can right there.
Trash can? Okay.
Because we're going to want to insert the chapter in the chapter one. So let's browse to the picture for the chapter logo. There we go. Select that guy.
New book.
Yeah, we don't have a logo for our chapter. We're just going to piggyback on the state image.
That's fine. So we've grabbed the state image. So let's scroll down. And so what I would do is change this to, say, welcome to the, North Carolina Writers Network, Metro North chapter, or something like that.
Okay, well, I'll save this one first, right? So.
Wow. This is interesting. It's very interesting.
It really is. It really is.
And the hardest part of doing this doing this work is often deciding what the design looks like and the language you're using. because there's always opportunity here to refine this. So now you might, say something like, and we can format this, so just don't worry about what it looks like.
Trying to make sure I'm consistent with the state guidelines. Okay.
And then, so you've got, where that says, that we'll want to start learning today. What I would say is join our monthly newsletter
or subscribe to, maybe?
Subscribe to the monthly newsletter to find out the latest from our chapter, our writers, including video from our YouTube channel, things like that. So just a quick little message. And I would suggest putting this note in here because it is a legally binding thing, by the way. I would put a note like, we will never sell or, give away your info, something like that. Usually the language I use is, we will never sell or give away your information. Your privacy is important to us. And then save that. And then we've got a button that says get sneak peek. I would change that to be subscribe.
What's that, Jim?
So where it says get sneak peek, we want to change that label to where it says subscribe.
I want to change the label. So
should be a button. Yep. See right there, get sneak peek.
Yep.
Wow.
That's amazing.
I'm so glad I decided to record this, because there's no way I was going to remember all of this. And Audrey and everyone on the call, I will definitely make this video available to you, because if you want to create your own page or use this platform for your own pages, this will be kind of a built-in tutorial. And okay, so
while you can do a lot more stuff, let's just start with this as our basic form. So we want to save it and publish.
Publish. That means it's loaded. So now it's going.
So now you have, in essence, a website. So it's now, that's your landing URL right there, where it's subscribepage.com/that number. So let's do, so what you want to do is, and this is what we'll do. This is what we would do with this. So what you want to do is remember subscribepage.com, and because you're on the free plan, you can't change the name it gives you, but that's fine. We're not worried about that right now. So copy that number C1K 2K 5.
I'm taking a screenshot. I think that's easier for me.
That works.
Save visible. Okay. Download that. And
now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the other, we're going to go back into the newsletter.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to the newsletter.
So it's back under campaigns.
Okay.
And there's our first newsletter. So let's edit this guy.
Or content.
You just click it and drag in the content.
Now, one of the things that I would do, and where I would probably put it, is right after that opening block, and before, either before or after your editor's notes, because you want it up top and visible, I would add another block, and I would say something along the lines of, we would love it if you would share the chapter newsletter. And here's a place that you can subscribe. If someone has shared this with you, here's how you can subscribe to our newsletter. It's not just for our members or something like that. If you wanted to do that so that people could subscribe.
Okay, I'm recording this, so I will definitely go back there and do that, but I'm anticipating, Jim, where I created the subscribe button.
So let's click on that.
That's where I'm going to
edit that. So what we'll do is that subscribe button, we'll
Mhm.
go to, let's bring up your screenshot.
Yeah, I actually saved it on my iPhone here, so let me go grab that. And so I'm just going to copy.
Subscribe, not subscribe.
Oh, thank you. I wasn't paying attention.
There's nothing like having people watch when you're typing to make the typos.
Yeah, well, yeah, and my fingers aren't what they used to be. Subscribe page. .com/.
And that'll be an O, not a 0.
Good gosh. All right. Let's see
And
if I
that's
can do that. C, 1, K like killer, 2,
They give you clear sign
5.
for each.
All right, so I do save on that puppy, but now we're set to go.
Now let's click on the preview and test again. And let's go to preview mode.
Yeah, I got you.
So we can have set the subscription just, I think we said subscription.
And let's scroll down and see if our subscribe button works.
Click on subscribe.
Click on subscribe. Yeah, it's trying to go to it. For humor, do me a favor. Open up another browser window. Just hit the little plus sign to the left.
Oh,
That's all right. That works. And type in the link there to subscribe page and that link as well. Let's make sure it's working.
subscribe button.
Subscribepage.com. Nope, subscribepage.com / and that address.
Back and get the number again. Here. See. Okay. Hit return.
So the first thing I'm going to tell you is here's the fun part. You now have a chapter website.
Okay.
Even though there's nothing else on there except for the subscribe button. But the nice thing is you can actually build this out to be more. Obviously it's not much now, but you could add more to this to have like a mini landing page website for the chapter if you wanted to give a little more information about it, meetings, things like that, and link to this from Facebook. So you at least would have kind of a mini web page. So, and if you scroll down, there's more stuff down here that needs to be edited out, but we'll come back to that because all that was part of the template.
Okay.
So, but we'll come back to that. So do me a favor. Let's copy that link. And let's go back into the other one. So let's edit the subscribe button again. Yeah, get out of there. And let's edit the subscribe button. And let's just paste that link in there.
Okay.
So replace that and just paste it in there.
Okay.
All right. So let's try to test it again. And it may be, I'm trying to remember because some of the buttons don't always actually work until you send a preview email.
Should I click done editing first?
Yeah, click on the done editing so that we'll probably have to go back into it and test it, but that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It should be saved and we shouldn't have needed to, but you never know. Technology.
Really?
So let's preview it.
Click subscribe.
Let's click on the button.
There
And there you go.
All right.
This is interesting.
So, I mean, like I say, now the
Yeah.
other thing is editing the rest of this page to insert anything else you want to about the chapter and taking out the stuff from the template, but it's just like editing the rest of the box and everything else we've just done. And then you can use that link, and share that link to your sign up page and use that as your chapter website if you want to for a period of time.
Perfect. So we can incorporate that link into our current group Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
And then Audrey and MJ and all of the other authors can also embed that into their website or their newsletter to get people to come over here to learn about us.
Right. And so this is a good place to actually share a link to all the members' websites, down there at the bottom and say our members include, and, for everybody that has their own website, include those links down below. And then as the members link back to this, it also creates what's known as backlinking, which means everybody else gets to benefit a little bit from that connection.
So to edit this site, this landing page.
So what we'll do is let's go back into MailerLite. So now you would go back to forms, or actually go back to sites. Sorry. So now we can go and you see there's been 2 whole views of your page. So now we can edit it. So just select that guy again and we'll edit. And I'll hum the Jeopardy theme.
I love it.
So if we start scrolling down, you're going to see other things like the author page here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you could actually use that block and update this every month to say our featured author of the month is, or you could use this block to say our newest video is, and include links to the YouTube channel and all the different shows and all that sort of stuff. So you can actually edit this the exact same way you just did the newsletter and include links to those pieces, the YouTube channel that you've built and all these other pieces we've been building. This gives you a landing page to use to start creating that ownership.
Perfect.
It basically gives you a free chapter website. It's not ideal, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it is a way of doing a landing page. Now, the other way of doing a free website, of course, is to do a WordPress one at WordPress.org, is to do a chapter website there. But this gives you an easy and quick landing page that's already built in and integrated, so you can make this as simple or complicated as you want to.
Yeah, I think in the interest of time and keeping my own sanity, Jim, I'm probably going to go with this route. I've got a couple of our writers on this call. Any volunteers who wants to be the featured author for the next month?
I thought there was Audrey.
I think Audrey.
Audrey's the rock star.
Didn't you say you were gonna do something with her in November?
Yeah, so Audrey, are you okay with that? If I can go ahead and feature you for the November issue, and you know, I can point to.
You're on mute.
Uh-oh. Audrey, unmute yourself. Can she hear us?
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Tell us how many words or whatever that, I mean, this is just wonderful. This is just wonderful. It's solving one of our problems that we had. And so this is great. And yeah, because we can talk about it in terms, because this is a big national convention, so it is a big deal
Right.
to participate, to have that much time to participate, to talk about your own work. So just tell me how many words you want us to write and when you want us to have them.
Well, I don't know. I mean, first of all, we'll replace the
few words.
yeah. If I'm just going by this template, it doesn't look like there's a lot of words that were.
Yeah.
No, but you can add a block underneath it with as much as you want to add.
No, we don't, you know, I think it's important because the book is about ADHD. It's at the national convention for this. And I think that that's the important thing, is we have this whole thing about why we wrote about this topic. And I think that's plenty.
And from a design standpoint, an easy way of doing this, if you want to scroll back up,
Okay.
is, and this is just a suggestion, is to use the block as is, like it is right now, because the color scheme actually works for the Writers Network.
Yes.
Is you've got the picture block right there.
Okay.
You can replace that with a picture of Audrey and Larry, if she'll let Larry in the picture.
Yeah.
He's in all the pictures.
And then you can put Audrey and Larry and a quick little mini bio right there. And then beneath that, post the article. You add another block beneath it and just post the big text block as whatever the article is, including links to the conference, including links to the book.
Wow.
And then what you can do down below is use it as it is right there. And, you know, add an image of the book, add a quick bio, and add a link straight to Amazon.
Oh, okay.
And that becomes your template for a featured author and a featured book of the month.
Okay, well, Vince, you heard what he said.
I did, Audrey. I heard. Just if you would send me do me an email and send me what you want to have said. I will try to get this.
You're right, it's right.
Yeah, I'll write it. You give me the broad information to put in there, and I'll edit it and put it in this landing page. I will point to the landing page in the first newsletter, and saying that, hey, be on the lookout. Our next featured author is going to be Audrey and Larry Jones. And then we can embed the video that you did for lessons learned.
Okay.
We can have a picture of your book on there.
I want to see embedding the video. I think that'll be great.
Yeah, we'll embed the video. We'll have a picture of the book. We'll embed a link to Amazon. We'll have your picture in here, and yeah, I'm getting this idea.
One more thing we need to do is go ahead and click the save and update.
Let's see, I gotta get down here.
To your right.
I just need to. I can't see it.
Sorry.
My picture's blocking. So okay. So save and update. Got it. Okay.
Now the other page we've got to update here is the success page. So
Which
once
page?
somebody wants the success page. So let's go back into the site. So we're on the site. Scroll down.
Okay.
So we're still in there. So a couple things we want to add. So here's where things get important. So like scroll back up a little bit if you would please. So these are the SEO settings. The first thing you actually want to do is give the page a title. This is the name where I would be more concerned about making sure it abides by the North Carolina Writers Network standards. So this is where you're going to say, North Carolina Writers Network Metro North chapter.
And Vince,
Yeah,
one of the things that, you know, even though we wrote it, but anything from the, what was the spring conference call? I think you need to point something about how great the spring conference was to encourage people for the fall conference.
okay.
Yeah, I think that's important. I think the network would like that. You know, because if we didn't do anything but an agenda, because they have an interesting agenda. If you know something or want to just copy something out of their online stuff,
Yeah.
I think that's important.
Now, on this page, there's a couple of things before you save it. These are not things you have to do, but these are things that can help if somebody's looking for it. So keywords are going to be for you things like NCWN, comma, writers or writing, North Carolina, anything that would help somebody find this. Now, your SEO is not something I'd spend a whole lot of time on, but you can have these sorts of things in here, which will make the page easier to find if somebody goes to Google and searches for it. You'll also see down below the page description, you get, so basically that's a Twitter post. You can write about the chapter. And, again, it's just little stuff that if somebody searches for it or finds it, these are things that people are going to see that makes it easier to find the chapter and find the page.
Okay. I can always go back and edit these, but I'm just,
You can edit this anytime. And then, you probably want to check the box that says allow search engines to index the page. So go ahead and save it.
mhm.
Now, what we've got to do is go back in and edit the other page. So, but let's talk about this for just a moment. So one of the things that you see there is a button that says double opt-in. If we were overly concerned about GDRP, you'd want to turn on double opt-in. So for your own newsletters, if you are, if you're looking at having a European community or something like that, turning on the double opt-in, what that means is somebody has to confirm they actually signed up for it. So you know how if sometimes you'll sign up for a newsletter, you get another email that says, hey, did you really mean to sign up for this newsletter? Click here. That's a double opt-in. There's several forms of double opt-in, but that's what that means. Now, if you want to go back in, let's actually, so one thing you see there is the landing page. So let's go down a little bit more. So now we want to go back in and edit the landing page for just a minute. So you'll see the edit button right there. There's a second page here we actually need to go in and edit. And I'll hum the Jeopardy theme.
We should have that theme song on there.
I used to keep it on my phone where I could pull it out and play it anytime. So if you see where it says landing page at the top and right next to that, it says success page.
Yeah.
Click on the success page. So this one is what'll happen. So let's say that somebody's put in their email address and they've now subscribed. This is going to be the message they see. So you probably want to edit this to be, instead of thank you, your book is on the way, thank you for subscribing to our chapter newsletter, or thank you. We look forward to, talking to you, or whatever else you want to make that message. So yeah, you should just be clicking on that link that says your book chapter is on the way. Yeah, you see the little edit, the little pencil in the middle. Not that one, but if you go back towards the middle of the text,
Oh.
There we go. Now you can actually edit. You see where it says your book chapter is on its way?
Mhm. So we'll say, thank you for subscribing, or
You can just change it to say, thank you for subscribing to the North Carolina Writers Network, Metro North chapter newsletter.
yeah.
This is like having a website inside of a website.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's basically a miniature website. And while it's very limited what you can do with it, if all you need to do is tell people we exist and here's a way to get to our newsletter to follow more, it's an easy way to do it. I mean, the URL is a little bit of a pain to use, of course, but if you happen to get let's say you happen to get a domain called NCWN you could then point it to this page and make that an easier experience.
Okay. Save and update.
Save and update. And so now, you've got a up and working website. Still needs a little bit of work, to edit the other stuff. But
Mhm.
now people can see your newsletter. They can get your newsletter. They can refer it to other people and they can have other people subscribe to it. You've got a place for people to go. You've got a place that you can point that link to. So you could add that link to Facebook, add a button onto the Facebook site and say, check out our website and newsletter. All those little things that just link it together and make it a little bit easier.
Perfect. Wow. This is awesome. So Jim, if we, each one of us want to embed this in our respective websites, this will be an opportunity to do that as well, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Everybody can link to it. It's just another website
Got
with
it.
a strange name. But I mean, otherwise it's a website. If you've got the URL and you know where to go, by having that link and the ability to share it out and, put it on everybody's that's a member's website, put it in people's newsletters, share it out however you want to share it out. You now
Okay.
have an anchor page. Really what this is this is your anchor for the chapter to give people the easy ability to sign up for a newsletter.
Wonderful.
So if I already have the North Carolina Writers Network logo on my website, is there a way to, I saw you showing one time how to put the link behind that logo so that when you click on it, it'll come straight to this.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, I'll get with Vincent a little later and figure out how to put that link behind the logo. I'm ready.
Yeah. I'm so excited. Wow.
I mean, so that gives you a newsletter, that gives you a landing page, that gives you pieces to start working with. And, here's the thing to remember. It doesn't have to be perfect the first day out of the gate. And it doesn't, it can be changing to whatever you need it to be when you need it to be that.
Right. Jim, I'm calling up my own website just so I'm 100% understanding. So so I have a tab about the founder, right? So I started this as an author website, and it expanded to being a founder website. So I'm using Weebly as my engine. I can now, if I'm understanding what you're saying, where before I would click on the North Carolina Writers Network, that would take me to the North Carolina site. I can now have another one that says North Carolina Network.
Right. You can have
Chapter.
one that says North Carolina Writers Network, Metro North chapter,
Right.
Yeah.
and that link would go straight to that landing page.
Got it. So what I would do, I would go back and I could highlight regional representative, and then that would take them to the landing page for the chapter or something like, yeah, I'll figure that out. Okay, I just want, this is so awesome in timing, no kidding. Okay.
See, all the little stuff we've been doing, each one of them builds
Yeah.
on the last session.
Yeah, and well, Jim, just so you know, I'll take you to the recommended tab on my site. Basically, what I've done is I set up the affiliate program, and I have all of the books from the people in our chapter, and I expanded that to include some of the people I'm working with in another association in the state. But you can see Regina's is here, Chuck Thurston, Heidi Thurston, falling through the ceiling. So when they come to my site, if they click on either a picture of the book or they click on the little Amazon affiliate link, either way, it takes them to buying that book on Amazon. One of the things that I did for Audrey, I'm sorry, for MJ, is she said that she makes more earnings if the people would come to her site rather than going to Amazon. So I'm thinking, hopefully this is a way that we can accomplish that without, setting off an Amazon something or another.
Absolutely. If somebody
I-
prefers you to come to their site, you don't have to use the affiliate link.
Yeah, and that's what I did here. So I created, so this would take them right to MJ's site. But I didn't call it purchase, I just call it author link. So, because I remember the first time they took me down because I had purchased from, Barnes and Noble, or purchased from some other site, and then, you remember I got disconnected.
Oh yeah.
Had to start all over again. So your Amazon's like kind of like really beat the bully in the room here, right? So
The 800-pound gorilla wants to be the 1,000-pound gorilla.
yeah, and they're sure doing what they can, but hopefully all of the writers in our group, I think one of the powerful things, Jim, is by having a recommended page. I used to call this the bookstore, and I got some advice to say, no, call it recommended, because there's thousands of bookstores out there. But what this does on this site is it gives some credibility that the books that are on here are books that I've actually read. I actually know the author. Basically, there's a connection, I think, to use your word. So if it's Chuck Thurston, the coroner takes a ride, they click and go, and boom, they're on Amazon. They could go ahead and buy the book, and that takes them to the affiliate link.
Well, and one of the things that makes a website meaningful is if it's just a virtual relationship to you through social media, through your website, through whatever else, if you've built up your reputation and you've built up that relationship with your followers, readers, members, all the rest of that, the benefit here is that by saying this is stuff I'm recommending, you're lending your credibility to those.
Right.
And so that gives credibility to you, to them, and it gives anybody that comes to the site a little bit more. It just gives them a little bit more credibility that this is somebody you're endorsing.
Exactly. Yeah. So, wow. Yeah, but I am always amazed at how fast this hour turns into more than an hour, and how fast that time goes. I just wonder, Audrey and MJ, Larry, folks on the call, are there any questions you have while we have Jim? Because we may not get to see and talk to him until after the new year.
I have a question. There's a project I'm working on, and right now it'll be in print copy. And I've got James Nettles, The Essentials of something, your business. I forget the proper title of the book. Now, outside of electronic, like an ebook,
Mm-hmm.
well, obviously they can't click on the link if it's print. So I think I just answered my own question.
Well, there are ways to cheat about that, though.
Okay.
So, and I've got some of them in the book, and a couple of them right now are being updated, because right now the workshops website is the Author Essentials workshops website is currently down because we're moving and changing the platform.
Okay.
And redesigning and redeveloping it.
Mhm.
So, and hopefully it will be back up here in the next few weeks. because we're dropping the next version of the AE website, the next version of the Continual website, and the next version of the workshops website. And I'm moving the platform off of the one I was on to a new one where I actually have more control and more power over what we're doing with the workshops. One of the easiest ways to embed a link to drive somebody, somewhere, if you've got really long links to take somebody somewhere for something, an easy way to steer somebody from a print book to a place is to buy a simple domain. For example, if you go to be4a.info, it'll take you straight to the Amazon link for this book. So you can buy .info links or things like that for less than $1 a year, and put that link and drive that link to specific pages on your website, specific pages, for a landing page. So for example, let's say you wanted to simplify the link we just created tonight. For $1, you could go out and buy a domain that's, NCWNMC.info. More than likely that's available, and it's 88 cents a year. And that very short link would repoint to this domain. So if I'm publishing things like this in the book and it's print, you'll see me put out these really long links. One of the things I like to be able to do is to say, and if you go to this landing page, it will have all the links in this book.
What I'm going to do then is when I get to the point of the final edit of the publication, I'll get back with you.
Please feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to chat.
Yeah. Okay. I won't say anything else right now. I'll leave that there.
I will tell you guys, I am doing, so there's a couple of things I'm going to be doing. So as a part of underneath Continual, I am helping a small online writers convention that is 100% free. It's called LitCon. It's going to be the same weekend. It's going to be November the 13th, 14th, 15th as well. Some of it's going to be recorded in video, but I am also going to be doing in early December. I don't have the dates yet. I'm going to be doing every night about a 45-minute instructional video on something. And then in early mid-December, I'm working on the dates. I'm going to be teaching what is a 2-day workshop, which goes through, a lot of the things we've already talked about, plus a bunch of other stuff. I teach a full 2-day workshop. And that's going to be somewhere in early December. We're working on what weekend that will be.
Well, Jim, when you get that information, can you send that to me so that I can put that in our newsletter?
Oh, certainly.
Yeah, and on our brand new website now, and on our Facebook page. So we'll try to get the word out.
So, and on Continual, for example, the reason I have this particular background, we just recorded a NaNoWriMo primer as a part of Continual, which is of course Continual Convention. And we had a number of authors in, and experts in everything from how do I plan to do NaNoWriMo, and, how do I plot? How do I do research? And we did about an 1.5 hour long primer. And probably the most fun part of it was, how do I still hit my 1,600 words a day with family around and everybody stuck in the house? So we've got that episode that will be airing on Continual very shortly. And we're going to have a new set of specials airing that are all pillars of writing. So it's going to be, we've got several Grand Masters lined up, and a number of other guests, but people that have been in the business for forever that we're going to be doing interviews with. So that's a new series that we're launching on Continual. And one of the other things that we've just launched is called Short Takes, which is short readings from your works and your fiction. So that'll be an opportunity for people to sign up and do those as well. The Continual Discord channel is going to be launching very soon. And some of the stuff we're going to have in there is going to be like reading rooms. So if you just want to schedule and hold a reading, the rooms will be there and available. We'll have the ability for you to schedule and book and say, I'm going to be scheduling a reading a lot of the time it's going to be tied into events we're doing. But if you just want to have a place to hold a reading, a virtual online reading, you'll be able to let us know and invite people to the Discord server and be able to go in, and it's audio and video, interact with people. And that's going to be one of the tools that we're just making available for folks out there.
The readings, is there some specs, like a time frame for how long, how much time?
The short reads we publish on Continual are timed at 7 minutes max.
Okay.
But for the new reading rooms and stuff we're going to have in the Discord channel, it's however long you want to go be in the room.
Depends. Okay.
That's one of those things I'm trying to work on this weekend. We're doing some more testing with it. We built it out. One of the things that you guys might be interested in is last weekend we had Multiverse, which is a writers convention out of Atlanta. We helped manage that online, but all the panels, all the stuff that was done online is available on Multiverse's site for free, as well as the YouTube channel. There was a lot of really great writer panels on there. I did two. I did one on the future of solar punk, which is talking about, hopeful technology and fiction. I did another one about noir fiction, which, is like the old, gritty detectives. That was fun to do. I also had the fun of doing mentor sessions again. And the mentor sessions are always a lot of fun to do because we have different people who are experts in different fields. I come and mostly talk about business and marketing and stuff. A couple of people actually want to talk to me about plotting, and I'm like, I can plot. But those are really fun because it's like speed dating. You get 17 minutes to come in and ask any question you want to of whatever mentor you get. And we're talking about starting to host those about once a quarter on Continual as well. So those are always a lot of fun to do as well.
Sounds to me, Vince, like there should always be something to use as a filler in the newsletters if we run out of authors. I mean, my goodness.
We just hit the 6-month mark on Continual and have produced over 100 shows.
Oh, good. Yeah.
With our team of folks, and that is growing. We're getting ready to launch a new comics track. We're launching, like I say, the new Short Bites is launching. We've got the new Pillars show that's launching, and one that I'll be bringing back, Creating Prose, and that'll be now a show on Continual, which is about the business side. And it's about how do you become a pro? And the tagline to it is, taking your work very seriously and yourself not so much. Because you've met me.
Wow.
So, we've got a lot of new resources that are coming. And of course, Author Essentials, we're building out the resources section so that there will always be a lot of information available out there for free, clicking through. And then last but not least, as I've got somebody was pinging me. Of course, I just went blank. I feel sure there was something else in there, but no, I mean, like I say, I don't remember, MJ, if we've connected on Facebook yet or not. I mean, Audrey, Larry, of course,
Yeah,
I know.
go ahead. Let me go ahead and tell everybody at the same time. I am not only about Amazon. I don't know when last I checked my Facebook page, and I have people hollering at me because I haven't checked my Facebook page. I mean,
Well,
I've done statewide and national conferences, and people are Facebooking me, and I haven't responded. So, Jim, one of those people.
Trust me, I understand 100% because Facebook can be a tremendous time suck.
So
It can.
What I will do, I will go look for your name on Facebook.
But I will say this: it's like anything else. It's a tool, and if you use it with intention, and you use it properly to help keep everything moving and you use it to contact and work with people in a positive way, then the experience with social media can be positive.
Okay.
If you use it and all it is, well, 2020 is a little bit of a difficult year to do this in, but in normal times, if what you respond to is positive, then Facebook rewards you with more positive posts and more positive people.
Okay.
And so the experience and how you use the tool, it's going to reward you with more of that, because it says, well, if you want to see more political posts that are going to make you mad, I can show you more political posts that are going to make you mad. If you want to see more cat videos, it's going to show you more cat videos. And if you want to see something that says, here's more information about books and authors and people that are believers in lifting up the business in the industry, and that's who you interact with, that's what you're going to see and that's what you're going to get. If you want to talk to people that are going and wanting to educate and inform, that's what you're going to get more of. You get rewarded by the people and the things that you interact with. Because by clicking on the, I like this, I don't like that, you tell the tool, here's what I want to see more of.
Okay.
Jim, I'm going to stop recording here.